Do you have a boss who you feel is arrogant and that is causing you to, lose out on your confidence and your self-esteem is going for a toss? You are not voicing your opinions. Yeah, you're just holding everything back, and you are doubting and questioning yourself. Am I worthy? Not worthy? All of that is taking a toll on you, and you are also not keen to work in this environment. The whole keenness around working is gone. If that's you, then this video is for you. Hi, I'm Aastha Tatia, daughter of two rock solid pillars, mother to a lovely daughter, wife of a humor king, an engineer, MBA, corporate executive turned anchor person, now an author and a happiness coach, helping leaders build deep connections and meaningful relationships in their organizations so that they could regain their vitality. If you're able to relate with this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you've not done it already. Yeah. So somebody, I was talking to some corporate executive and he mentioned that he was losing out on his confidence. Rather, the boss's arrogance was killing his confidence. Yeah. And he absolutely wasn't keen on working there and was considering quitting the organization. And he didn't know how to handle a situation like this where you're not speaking what you want to speak, you can't do anything, and then the boss is the way he is, and you feel less confident and low on self-esteem. Yeah. Now, I think there are a couple of things here. One is, in such a scenario, what we tend to do most of the times in all such scenarios, we are very, very quick to transfer the responsibility of whatever we are going through, whatever we are feeling about a certain situation to the other person. So we transfer the responsibility to the other person. If he will behave in so and so manner, I am going to feel good. He must appreciate me for me to feel good. If he says so and so, I'm not going to feel good. So that's going to lower my self-esteem. Yeah. So we've shifted all that responsibility to feel high on confidence, high on self-esteem, high, on the excitement, the joy to do the work, to give in our heart and soul. The whole responsibility is on the other person. If it's the boss in this case, then the boss, right? Two, the amount of significance we attach to anything, any event, any person determines how much of an impact it's going to have on me. So whatever the boss is saying, whatever the boss is, whether it's just the tone, it's the pitch, it's the volume, it's the words, whatever part of that conversation, that hits you, that bothers you, what is the meaning or the significance you're attaching to it? Or if he's saying this in this tone, then it means he's upset with me, or then it means that I've not done it right. I just don't deserve this, right? But if he says this in this tone, then it means everything is fine. So the first and second are both interrelated. So you've kind of attached your whole sense of worth to this person's behavior and his way of reciprocating to what you're doing. Yeah. And third, when we enter an organization or, in our initial interactions, we don't say what we have to say, what we're feeling, how we are feeling, or if there's something which is outside the boundary, we don't really want to accept that. We don't say. Now you will say, oh, he's the boss. How can I say? Why not? But why don't we say? So two aspects. One, we don't say anything in the beginning, and then it keeps piling up, reaches a stage where then you're no more able to contain it, hold it back. You want to just go and yell at the other person, which is not a good thing to do. Not a good thing to do. Yeah. So we're not saying what we need to say because we feel this is not the right thing to do. Best would be if I can just hold on. Oh, he has said it. It's okay. No problem. I need to keep him happy. He needs to be pleased. And that also happens partly because we ourselves are not clear about who we are or what is it that we stand for, or the boundary, what falls within the purview of the boundary or outside the boundary. We don't know, we have no clue. And therefore, when I'm not sure of what I want, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable, and then the whole significance I attach to the role, he's the boss, we put him on a pedestal, and therefore he has the right, as a boss, he's more experienced, and, so he's saying something, so I must listen, think about it. And then we start to see it in a certain light. Over time, it doesn't go down well, builds up. And then we say, he is behaving in such a manner that it has taken a toll on my confidence. Now, the question you need to ask yourself is, how often would you be quitting? When you quit, consider you will still carry your patterns, your beliefs, your way of looking at things, your way of attaching significance to things to your next workplace. You're going to do that. So quitting job comes at a very later stage, which probably is a step that you take when you really feel, no, I think that's the only thing, and I really want to do it. That also comes from, what is it that I really want, not from a place, oh, I think in desperation that probably I should do this, like, how do I just get out of here, quit. That's not strategic, that's not intelligent, it may backfire. Yeah, so that's not the solution, if I have to say. So what is important is, your boss or his arrogance is not killing your confidence. Understand that. This is very, very critical, right? His behavior is a reflection of whatever he's going through, whatever he holds within him, yeah, which you cannot really do much about. I'm not getting into that part in detail, but you can't really do much about it. That's his journey, right? Whatever the boss is dealing with, but that's his way of doing it. Now, how much of significance you're attaching to it is in your control. Yeah. Whether you completely shifting the responsibility on him, or you're ready to take charge. My self-esteem, my self-confidence, it's my responsibility. So then, how much of significance I'm attaching to it? It's not mere statements that I'm making, which you need to make to yourself, but it's about getting it within, not logically, not at the level of intelligence, but within your heart. You know that, okay, whatever he's saying is about him, and it is not reflecting any way on me. It says nothing about me, but that is also a fine distinction. Doesn't mean you start discarding everything that your boss is saying. And that distinction you develop with practice. Practice of what? Practice of speaking up for yourself. So if the boss is saying something which doesn't go down well with you, how can you really maybe point it out in the beginning, when it is very small, when it is not as massive, so that you're sending out the message clear that, instead of this, could we look at a different way of communicating? Something like that, right? So when you start to point out, or rather start to communicate in a responsible manner right in the beginning, and not wait for it to reach such a drastic stage, then it stays in control. And chances are you feel good about yourself, you're taking charge, you're taking responsibility. And despite that, if it is not working, you see it is still the same, then you can make a choice whether I want to take this, which is that he will do what what he's doing, but I am not attaching significance to it. I can manage myself, and at this point, I think I need this job. I don't want to quit. There are a lot of other variables, so you make that decision basis that. But if you think this is impacting me a little too much, I know it is not about me, but every day I don't want to expose myself to all this, and I think I can get better opportunities as well. I would want to explore. It's been a while. So there'll be a lot of other factors, but this way of thinking would be a more, thoughtful way of thinking, a more intentional way of approaching something, rather than, let me just quit, get out of here. You don't know what's waiting for you the other side, right? So for all those of you who are struggling because your boss is arrogant, your seniors are arrogant, and that has caused you to shut down, then it's time to take responsibility for whatever you're going through. Not because you are wrong and they are right. It's not a matter of right or wrong, but it's simply about the impact it has on you. And the question is, are you willing to let it impact you the way it is doing? If you're not willing, if you don't want to be impacted this way, then you've got to, like put your foot down somewhere. Foot down to whom? To yourself. That I'm not tolerating this now. And I stand committed to myself. So what is your commitment? Right? So take that charge, take responsibility, start to speak in a responsible way. Don't shove the whole, the onus lies on him. I mean, I'm just an employee, he's the boss. No, doesn't work, right? Because what goes on here is not because of the behavior, it's because of the significance and the meaning that you're giving to that behavior. Boss says one sentence, but the meaning you attach to it, the story you build around it, and then you make it bigger and bigger, is what leads to all the pain and suffering. Yeah. But for you to understand that, you've got to get started by doing the work. So you will see that the moment you stand up for yourself, the moment you take that responsibility, there's a shift. Shift is not there in the boss. Nothing outside has changed, but shift is here in the way that you are approaching the whole situation, which means you hold the power to really turn around any situation the way you desire it to be. Yeah. So I think this gives you some food for thought. Reflect on this, and I would urge you to stand up for yourself, take responsibility, do the work. If needed, reach out to somebody, get some help, but do the work to build your mental muscle so that you can manage yourself better, so that you are able to distinguish between what is it that you want, what do you stand for, what is acceptable. So you're able to create all of this for yourself. You start to get aware of all this, and that's when you'll have more power, more muscle. You'll have the clarity in terms of what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. And clarity, pushes away fear. Yeah. So let me know, what do you think about this whole conversation, and what were your thoughts, your experiences? What is it that you are doing right now if you're struggling with this? And what is it that you're going to do differently now? Do let me know in the comment box, and subscribe to the channel if you've not done already. Hit the like button. See you soon. Take care.